What's up, guys?
Straw Hat's body, his exhaustion, his pain.
Again, we're gonna play this.
Olivia Old South, Sassy Scott, Barbie Q, Fancy Nancy, Fruity Frame, Cranberry Kelly, Little Old Chicken Salad,
This old lady was arrested on her 100th birthday, and you'll never believe why. Ruth was an old lady, and on her 100th birthday, everyone gathered to celebrate. But suddenly, a loud knock at the door interrupted the festivities. Ruth's daughter, upon opening the door, was shocked to find police officers waiting. They explained that they had to take Ruth to the police station. Despite the cries and tears of her family and friends, the officers were unmoved. At the station, the police revealed that someone had lodged a complaint against Ruth. To their surprise, an elderly woman. They laughed as they escorted her to a cell, showing no mercy. In an unforeseen twist of fate, Ruth found herself at the police station, set to be photographed, instead of celebrating her centenary. But the real reason why she was arrested is very rare. Ruth was arrested on her 100th birthday, after a lifetime of expressing curiosity about never having been to a police station. The police department learned of her unique wish and fulfilled it as a birthday surprise, creating a memorable experience for her. This old lady was arrested on her 100th birthday, and you'll never believe why. Ruth was an old lady, and on her 100th birthday, everyone gathered to celebrate. But suddenly, a loud knock at the door interrupted the festivities. Ruth's daughter, upon opening the door, was shocked to find police officers waiting. They explained that they had to take Ruth to the police station. Despite the cries and tears of her family and friends, the officers were unmoved. At the station, the police revealed that someone had lodged a complaint against Ruth. To their surprise, an elderly woman. They laughed as they escorted her to a cell, showing no mercy. In an unforeseen twist of fate, Ruth found herself at the police station, set to be photographed, instead of celebrating her centenary. But the real reason why she was arrested is very rare. Ruth was arrested on her 100th birthday.
How was Poe able to beat Tai Lung and make it look easy? Tai Lung beat the Furious Five and then defeated Chief one-on-one, but somehow Poe was able to defeat him after only training for a week. How is this possible? The first reason I think this happened was because Tai Lung completely underestimated Poe. The dragon warrior showing up out of wrecking on his knees is not the most intimidating first impression. Because Tai Lung didn't see Poe as a threat, his main focus was on getting the scroll, not fighting Poe. Tai Lung ignores Poe after hitting him, which causes him to get completely blindsided, and ignores Poe while running right by him, which allows Poe to slam him down. Tai Lung also underestimated Oogway when going for the Dragon Scroll and left himself wide open for an attack. The second reason Poe won was because of how Tai Lung reacted to reading the scroll. When Tai Lung found out the thing he worked so hard for his entire life was nothing, it caused him to lose his focus and fly into a rage. This gave Poe the opportunity to use Tai Lung's power against him and send him flying. All that crack Tai Lung snorted at the start of their fight probably wasn't helping either. How was Poe able to beat Tai Lung and make it look easy? Tai Lung...
Crack.
What happened, Sakura?
The Nine Tails was extracted from Naruto. Doesn't look good.
Naruto. A message from Naruto's Nine Tails. Listen, Fourth Hokage. He said to transplant the other half of Nine Tails within you into Naruto. It's the only way to save him. This time for sure.
Today, I'm trying the world's weirdest public toilets.
including one that should be illegal. First up, this self-cleaning toilet locks itself after each use to clean inside, but no one has ever witnessed how. So I set up my phone to find out how it actually works. And honestly, it was weirdly satisfying, but not nearly as weird as the toilet inside this Italian restaurant that is space-themed for no apparent reason. And when you press this button, the door closes like a video game, which still wasn't as weird as this toilet that is so creepy it shouldn't be legal. It might look like a harmless mirror from far away, but the closer you get, you realize something odd. You can't see them, but they can see you. Kinda like this transparent toilet I found in Japan. You can watch the full video on my YouTube channel.
Jotaro has been released from prison, but he refuses to step out. When the prison guards asked him why, Jotaro claimed that he had been possessed by an evil spirit. He believed that staying in prison was the safest option. The prison guard next to him thought Jotaro was out of his mind, but the next second, an invisible hand emerged from behind Jotaro and directly snatched the guard's gun. Then, to everyone's shock, Jotaro pointed the gun at his own head. All this, Jotaro's mother decisively sought out Jotaro's grandfather, but what Joseph didn't expect was that Jotaro could easily take away his prosthetic finger without him noticing. At this point, Joseph was both shocked and delighted, because he knew what the evil spirit Jotaro was talking about. But compared to verbal explanation, Joseph thought it would be better for him to experience it firsthand. With the snap of Joseph's fingers, Abdul, who had been hiding in the corner, came out. Abdul waved his hands, and the next second, Jotaro has been released from prison, but he refuses to step out. When the prison guards asked him why, Jotaro claimed that he had been possessed by an evil spirit. He believed that staying in prison was the safest option. The prison guard next to him thought Jotaro was out of his mind, but the next second, an invisible hand emerged from behind Jotaro and directly snatched the guard's gun. Then, to everyone's shock, Jotaro pointed the gun at his own head.
I trusted him.
I love him.
This cameraman discreetly filmed scammers. Today he wanted to test whether this man in blue was a good person or a scammer. He approaches him with 2 shoes because the man in blue is a cobbler. Now obviously his camera is discreetly installed in his coat and the man in blue has no idea he's being filmed. He then moves forward and offers him his 2 shoes, asking the cobbler to repair them. However, as you can see, the shoes are in perfect condition and don't need any repairing. The man in blue gets up, looks at the shoes, and goes straight into the second one where money's hidden. So if he makes a deal with this man, he could potentially earn a lot of money. But what's incredible is that look at his reaction. He takes the shoe, touches the inside, and quickly realizes that the shoes are in very good condition. At that moment, he pushes the man away and returns his shoe, telling him to leave because they don't need any repairing. Despite the money he saw, he remained honest and stayed true to his morals. Incredible. This cameraman, this...
Hey! It's Pirate Lady! Over there! I see something! You're trying to kill yourself!
The king picked up the iron mask and immediately felt a suffocating sensation as it put it on his face. He quickly threw the mask into a box, locked it, and sent it to his twin brother. With a command, several burly men pinned Philip down. Rendering him immobile, one of them forcefully placed the iron mask on his face, secured it with fastenings, and finally sealed Philip's beauty with a lock. For the next 6 years, Philip wore the iron mask and was imprisoned far away from the hustle and bustle. No one visited him, and no one spoke to him. In his moments of boredom, he could only play with paper airplanes or climb high walls to catch a glimpse of the moon and imagine moments of freedom. Then, one day, his savior arrived. A portly priest, accompanied by a prison guard, entered his room. After the guard walked away, the priest signaled for Philip to remain silent. Then he quietly lifted the clothes. A bound body appeared in front of Philip. Philip was astonished to see that the corpse also wore an identical iron mask. The priest switched their identities, binding Philip to his own body. He set fire to the corpse, creating the illusion that Philip had already perished. The king picked up the iron mask and immediately felt a suffocating sensation as it put it on his face. He quickly threw the mask into a box, locked it, and sent it to his twin brother. With a command, several burly men pinned Philip down, rendering him immobile. One of them forcefully placed the iron mask on his face, secured it with fastenings, and finally sealed Philip's beauty.
Happy birthday to you. Nobody likes you. You look like an animal. Go back to the zoo.
Don't take the fruit!
Okay, I won't take it.
I'll be right back!
Is he dumb or something? This fruit is mine. Bye-bye, loser.
They never learn! Don't take the fruit!
Fine, sir. Wonder why you just left this fruit here.
Congratulations, kid! Since you've been a nice pirate, you'll get a rare fruit instead!
Oh man, a sound fruit. Thank you so much, Silver.
That's what you get for being kind! Each time you...
Did you know that in the scene, Thanos didn't actually use Iron Man as a shield for the hammer? Because of Iron Man's repulsor, Thanos didn't see the Thor through the hammer. Thanos was going to rip Iron Man just like he ripped Iron Man in the comics. So when Doctor Strange looked into the future and saw all the possible outcomes...
How many did you see? 14,605. How many did you win?
After this specific fight, Iron Man wouldn't be ripped out by Thanos. One theory suggests that Doctor Strange wanted Iron Man dead because he saw in the future outcomes that Iron Man would become so powerful that he would be a threat to the multiverse. Another theory suggests that it wasn't actually Doctor Strange, but Evil Strange behind all of this, manipulating events to make Iron Man believe he had to sacrifice himself. Did you know that in the scene, Thanos didn't actually use Iron Man as a shield for the hammer? Because of Iron Man's repulsor,
I'm sorry about all this, Shukaku, but you're gonna be staying with me for a while.
I'm only doing this because you and Gara asked me to. But I don't like being under the same roof as that damn fox.
Just getting away with your sins, you dumb cunt.
What did he just say? You want to fight?
Straight.
You couldn't even beat that Otsutsuki.
Hey,
You could defeat me. I would have never messed like that.
You know I never liked you, Fox, and I never will.
Stop digging your head. You know it come out.
Shukaku, that's enough now. I'm sorry about all this, Shukaku, but you're gonna be staying with me for a while.
These are 3 times Rider Speed Bumps. At number 3, does anyone else get that feeling? At number 2, he tried to run on a pit bike. At number 1, this cop shows who is the boss. These are 3 times Rider Speed Bumps. At number 3, does anyone else get that guilty feeling?
An ordinary omelet costs $500. The girl tasted it and was surprised that it wasn't an omelet. Jack was very confused. Then he scooped up a spoonful and put it in his mouth. He realized that this omelet was really something. It's made with mango frozen coconut milk and foreign wine. But the second dish was even stranger. The waiter brought a potted plant to the table before they could catch their breath. The manager came to the table. She said it was a growing salad. You haven't seen it before, have you? All the elements in it are edible. She taunted them that they didn't know what they were talking about. Jack was furious. He immediately got up, picked up the plants, and went to the back of the kitchen. He said he came here to eat. He didn't come to see you do magic tricks. If you want to be cool, go back to France. Jim did not argue with him. He took out an A5 Wagyu beef from the freezer. He said it was Japanese A5 Wagyu beef. Do you know what to do with it? And Jack just looked at the temperature of the freezer. He decided to show the traditional Chinese cooking skills. Then he picked up a large onion. He cut it into small pieces with his skillful knife. Then he poured it into a 200-degree frying pan. While waiting, he cuts the Wagyu beef into strips. Then he puts them on the iron plate. Sauté them over high heat. Then an ordinary omelet costs $500.
I just found out I've been using my keyboard wrong my entire life. I was scrolling YouTube Shorts and I came across this video.
I press shift with my thumb.
I thought everybody did, but it turns out people use their pinky. And I don't want to be a weirdo, so I forced myself to use my pinky. And it was working. I could finally sprint and jump at the same time. But then my thumb started getting pissed off. It was jealous about the pinky. And now I think put your hand into your pocket and get yourself some Wonka chocolate. Put your hand into your pocket and get yourself some Wonka chocolate. Put your hand into your pocket and then get yourself some Wonka chocolate. Put your hand in.
Hey! Kurama! Were you lonely being separated from me like that? I sure did miss you!
Quit yelling so loudly! I wasn't lonely! You have half of me inside you, remember? I've really enjoyed my time together with you.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed it.
The price of taking that power was my life, not yours, Naruto. Don't look at me like that. That's what's so important about you. It's almost time now.
Kurama! No, please don't go! Hey! Kurama!
I say that because you lack a decisive element.
I wondered what you were gonna say, but I don't need to hear yet another lecture, you know. So anyway, I take that bell from you, I passed, right?
Of course.
Let's go! Yeah! Wait, style, get off! Take this! We all Porto
Taijutsu, ninjutsu, you excel all around. You're a cut above the rest. The skills you have are above a Genni or even a Chunin. And that's the reason why this is going to be the end of the line for you.
Just calm down, you guys. It's
Little Johnny walked into class with a black eye. The teacher was concerned and asked, "What's wrong?" Johnny says, "Our house is very small. Me, my mom, and my dad, we sleep on the same bed. Last night my dad asked,
Two vicious dogs were attracted by the chicken inside the door. They immediately wanted to get in and eat the chicken, but the next second, two dog heads were pierced by an icicle and flew out. This scared the little dog Iggy, who was nearby. He immediately realized that the eagle in front of him was also a stand user like him. Just then, the eagle noticed the man sent by Apple to scout the location. The eagle immediately launched an attack. A huge icicle pierced the man and the car on the spot. This made Iggy feel like he was facing a great enemy. He knew that this eagle was guarding this mansion, and the eagle's next target was him. It turned out that this eagle was a hint of the Horus card. Iggy understood that the mansion in front of him was Dio's residence that Joseph and the others were looking for. But Iggy didn't want to participate in this war, so he immediately pretended to be a stupid dog and started acting crazy on the ground. After a set of operations, the eagle also let go of his doubts and flew back into the mansion. Seeing the crisis resolved, Iggy immediately prepared to leave here. But just then, the owners of the two vicious dogs came here. He found the collars of the two dogs. The little boy immediately wanted to get into the mansion, and the boy who entered the gate saw a terrifying scene. The eagle was gnawing on two dog heads. The eagle didn't give the boy time to think and immediately launched an attack. Two vicious dogs were attracted by the chicken inside the door. They immediately wanted to get in and eat the chicken, but the next second, two dog heads were pierced by an icicle and flew out. This scared the little dog Iggy, who was nearby. He immediately realized that the eagle in front of him was also a stand user like him. Just then, the eagle noticed the man sent by...
This guy is the last man alive on Earth after a virus wiped out all of humanity, and he just wants to see.
This is a country where no sound is allowed. If someone breaks the rules, you'll be amazed at the consequences. Two robbers have taken hostages. At this moment, a large number of police officers surround them. Both the robbers and the hostages are holding their breath. Do not dare to make a sound. The policemen in front of them are also blocking their mouths. They don't dare to make a sound. If they make a sound, what will happen? Let's continue watching. The robber is trying to escape quietly under the eyes of the police, but the sheriff didn't dare to say anything in order to arrest the robber. The robbers took the hostages and got on a motorbike, but they don't dare to start the engine. They can only move slowly on their feet. People on the roadside see this, duck to the side. No one dares to make a sound. The robbers took the hostages and walked through the crowd. The police's lights only glowed, but they didn't dare to sound their sirens in order to keep quiet. Vehicles don't start. They rely on people to push them. What will happen to them? Even the police are so vigilant. The robbers are speeding up their pace. The police car is right behind
behind him. The driver was about to sound the horn. The police chief stopped him. Seeing that the robbers are getting farther and farther away, the sergeant took his pistol and aimed at the robbers. Once the gun... This is a country where no sound...
This elephant saved her zoo by learning how to paint, but this skill came at a big cost. This is Suda, and her paintings have sold for over $39,000.
Give it back. You scared? I said, give it back. You want it? Come get it. You're gonna do this.
No. Shuriken Jutsu is Sarda's specialty, not mine, Uncle Sasuke. It's in Uchiha.
Based on your reasoning, this jutsu should be your specialty. Is that right?
Yes. What's his specialty was?
No more excuses. Naruto can make over 1,000 shadow runs.
Shuriken Jutsu is Sarda's specialty, not mine, Uncle Sasuke. It's in Uchiha.
Well, Naruto, based on your reasoning, this jutsu should be your specialty. Is that right?
Yes. What's his specialty was?
No more excuses. Naruto can make over 1,000 shadow runs.
The giant brought stones to build a bridge. The little man behind seized the opportunity and pushed the giant into hell with all his might. The giant never walked on his feet. He was carried by 6 little men under his feet. They came to a strange cliff. Seeing the danger ahead, the giant tried his best to break a stone from the edge of the cliff. Under the gaze of the little men, the giant placed the stone in the middle of the cliff. At this time, a little man saw an opportunity. He saw the other little men's eyes dull. He decided to give it a go. The little man quietly came to the back of the giant's foot. Before the giant could react, the little man moved the giant's foot with all his might and pushed the giant who enslaved them into the lake. The giant fell into the hot lava. Seeing the other little men at a loss, the little man in front quickly jumped on the stone, then carefully came to the opposite bank along the stone wall. Seeing this, the other little men also came forward. They jumped down one by one on the stone and walked forward. But at this time, the stone could not bear their weight. Seeing them fall, the little man
Go over there to the table because I don't keep dropping those sauce over there. So
all fell into the lava with the giant. At this time, the edge of the cliff shook violently. The little man hung on the edge of the cliff a second before he fell. Just at this critical, the giant brought stones to build a bridge.
This man can't do anything with what he wanted. He pulled down the moon and drew stars with his hands. And he did all this just to make his girlfriend happy. But he didn't realize that due to the changing gravity, the water level around the world is rising rapidly. It turns out that the man was chosen by God. He was given superpowers. Everything he thought of could come true. There's a jam ahead. He runs his fingers in both directions. All the doors give way. But you'd never guess, just a few days ago, he was an unlucky man. His boss fired him from the
she got her food.
He just saw some hooligans on the road. They chased him down. Fighting home, they hit a utility pole. Jim was devastated. He complained that God was unfair. He didn't realize that the next day, God called Jim over. God told him that this cabinet is full of the things you say to me every day. Jim didn't believe it. He went over and over. He was pushed 10 meters away from the cabinet. Jim flew straight up. He stopped after a long time. He can't believe he said so many bad words about God. This man couldn't do anything. And drew stars with his hands. And he did all this just to make his girlfriend happy. But he didn't realize that due to the changing gravity, the water level around the world is rising rapidly. It turns out that the man was chosen by God. He was given superpowers. Everything he thought of could come true. There's a traffic jam ahead. He runs his fingers in both directions. All the cars give way to him. But you'd never guess, just a few days ago, he was an unlucky man. His boss fired him from...
Hand soap. Yeah, I can use some hand soap. No more.
Do you know why Shank's crew
had no devil fruit users. We knew Shanks could easily regrow his arm. He had Logiotech devil fruit similar to Cruzon. However, he chose not to eat a devil fruit, and there is an interesting reason behind it. Shanks spent his childhood on Roger's crew, and he knew about Shanks from the beginning. We also know that in Roger's crew, no one had a devil fruit, raising the possibility of a connection to the world's biggest treasure.
If someone dug through the earth and then accidentally jumped in, can he go through this hole to the other side of the earth? Due to the rotation of the earth, when you jump into the hole, in fact, the body is constantly colliding with the wall, so it's better to go directly through the Earth's axis of rotation. Dig a hole between the North Pole and the South Pole. This will ensure that the road is unobstructed. But don't jump in yet.
The woman opened the door. She saw her daughter twisting and turning, climbing up to the ceiling. The mother was terrified. Finally, she found Constantine, the Hellblazer. As soon as he entered the room, he opened the curtains. He pulled out his magic weapon and began to identify the tiger demon as someone. He pressed it to the girl's head. The demon began to convulse, but he went into the girl's body.
She ain't in here.
Then he spoke. God, if you really want to know, reveal your secret. Only I want to know.
No.
Interesting point. If you know a secret such as that, then I'd really like to hear it too. What? Guy has such a fine physique. It's the size of an acorn. Really? That's maybe we should call him a little beast instead.
It's like an acorn.
Guy, if you really want, I'll reveal your secret. The one.
A guy sprayed insulation foam in his sister's new house, but he didn't notice that the pipe outside was bent and slowly getting blocked. Suddenly, the foam stopped spraying. Thinking it was a remote control malfunction, he kept pressing the start button. The screen displayed pressure exceeding the threshold. He continued pressing the button as the pressure kept building, about to explode. Suddenly, the pipe cleared, but he got tripped by it, falling to the ground and passing out. The foam continued spraying, gradually covering his whole body until the entire attic was filled. It blocked the exit. Firefighters arrived but couldn't access the attic. His phone ring was muffled by the foam, and the heat was trapped. Unable to confirm his location, the captain decided to use a hook to poke the ceiling and locate the man. The woman's ceiling ended up full of holes. Suddenly, the hook hit next to the man. Firefighters brought out a saw, dismantled the entire ceiling, separated the wood and foam, and pulled the man out. The man was rescued, but the woman's new house was ruined. A guy sprayed insulation foam in his sister's new house, but he didn't notice that the pipe outside.
A bodybuilder is lost in the desert, and he's in desperate need of water. Suddenly, he sees what he thinks is a water stand in the distance. He rushes towards the stand, only to find an old man selling keychains. The bodybuilder asks, "Do you have any water?" The old man replies, "No, I don't have any water. But would you like to buy a keychain? It's only for $100. The bodybuilder, irritated by his response, says, "I don't need an overpriced keychain right now. I need water. Don't you see how strong I am? I can harm you, but I need to find water first." The old man responds, "It doesn't bother me that you don't want to buy a keychain or that you don't like me, but I will show you that I'm a better person and tell you where to find some water. If you go over that hill to the east for about 2 miles, you will find a restaurant owned by my brother. They have all the ice-cold water you need." The bodybuilder heads over the hill. Several hours later, he comes back to the old man, almost dying of thirst, and says, "Your brother won't let me in without the keychain." The bodybuilder is lost in the desert, and he's in desperate need. Little Johnny was told by his friends that adults have a deep, dark secret. It can be easily manipulated. Johnny decides to test it. He comes home, goes up to his mother, and says, "Mom, I know everything." Mom shushes him and gives him $10. "Just don't tell Dad," she says. "Hey, it's working," thinks little Johnny. An hour later, Dad comes home from work. Johnny goes up to him and says, "Dad, I know everything."
Dad gives Johnny $100. Don't tell Mom, he says. Just then, goes up to his mother.
This street chef is known as the god of cooking because he makes delicious fish dishes without killing the fish. He uses a special cutting technique that only cuts part of the fish's flesh.
Auntie, don't forget your creamer.
One day, a modern chef with the title of the god of cooking. The competition begins. The street chef quickly pulls out the bone of a duck. He then pours the eggs into the duck, making the duck full again. The duck is then wrapped in banana leaves and covered evenly with coconut pulp. He uses a traditional pan and sprinkles sea salt into it. Using traditional cooking methods, he cooks the duck in the pan with the sea salt. He then lifts the duck, hangs it, and knits it with his hand. After cutting the duck open, he shows its unique layers inside.
You want some of this protein drink?
Performance amazes everyone. In contrast, the modern chef cooks everything with aesthetics and elegance. His dish presentation is even very attractive. With a toss-up, the modern chef has made foie gras, while the street chef has made beggar's duck. The judges taste both dishes and admire them, but the winner is the street chef because this street chef is known as...
Wait, how's that possible? You'll be eliminated in 3? Wait, please. Any cobra under 1% should be killed. Just give me another chance. I can prove it's a mistake. How in the world does he have negative 1%? Yo, where's that snake Jay? He's at the principal's office, aka his dad's office. Principal Jay, your son has 1,000,000% poison now. He's too dangerous. He must be eliminated. Oh, he's gonna be fine. It's just said that you could use your poison in the right way. Devin, where is your poison? The principal gave it to his son somehow. Oh no, he's gonna use his son to conquer the world. Have you heard about the terrible news? I lost all my poison. I also have 0%. Seems that chasing all of her poison. Mom, is there any way to get back my poison? I'm not sure, and he's not even supposed to have that much. Well, even the king cobra can't go over 1,000,000% poison, or else it'll kill him. Yo, Johnny, what? Mom told me that the poison it's too late. You already killed the president. What? What do you want from me? We've achieved our goals, and now the whole world belongs to us. But my son is slowly dying. Maybe you should take his poison. No, you will. Wait, how's that possible? You'll be eliminated in 3. Wait, please. Any cobra under 1% should be killed. Just give me another chance. I can prove it's a mistake. How in the world does he have negative 1%? Yo, where's that snake Jay? He's at the principal's office, aka his dad's office. Principal Jay, your son has 1,000,000% poison now. He's too dangerous. He must be eliminated. Oh, he's gonna be fine. It's just said that you can use your poison the right way. Devin, where's your poison? His son somehow. Oh no, he's gonna use his son to conquer the world. Have you heard about the terrible news? I lost all my poison. I also have 0%.
Mark, come take yours.
I'm not sure.
Take yours.
Look.
This is good. What is that green stuff? Protein.
We've achieved our goals, and now the
That's it for the video. See you next time.